Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy materials on the weekends, and that's right, you read the title, and as was teased in the last review video, this other Disney holiday short film, which being stop motion, and making its way to Disney Plus, and I gotta say, this was pretty interesting. A pretty interesting, delightful, and sweet stop-motion Disney holiday short. Yeah, that's right, guys. I am reviewing an almost Christmas story. Yes, the Disney holiday stop-motion short film, An Almost Christmas Story. Yeah, like I said, this was pretty interesting. I was not disappointed by it, and I found it very interesting. And with this stop-motion style in this holiday short film from Disney, and not to mention, you know, with its writers and director, David Lowery, I am familiar with because I actually quickly checked, and yeah, I know him from a couple of other things that he's done. Like, he directed, say, The Ghost Story, and he also most notably directed the live-action remake of Pete's Dragon, which actually, because I'm sure you guys know this, the live-action remake of Pete's Dragon being pretty decent, so yeah. So nice to see that it's the same guy who did that and doing this, you know, An Almost Christmas Story. And Alfonso Cuarón being one of the writers, as well as David Lowery and Jack Thorne. I'm familiar with those names as well, but yeah. What this stop-motion Disney holiday short had to offer from beginning to end with its storytelling, having to do with this little girl who befriends this owl with a broken wing in the streets of New York City, of course, and, you know, especially since New York always looks, you know, bedazzled and such, you know, around the holidays, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just, you know, with some interesting characters that pop up here and there, and with the narrator / our storyteller being voiced by good old John C. Reilly. Some very touching and emotional moments, even some funny moments that happen in this. Yeah, just, I don't know what else to say. An Almost Christmas Story, I thought was a delightful, cute Disney stop-motion holiday short altogether. Yeah. Okay, so, as always, for me, read the description / the story. Moon, a curious young owl, finds herself trapped in a Christmas tree for Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. Trying to escape the city, Moon befriends a lost little girl named Luna. Together, they embark on an adventure. Yeah, so, getting into An Almost Christmas Story itself. Yeah, because, well, as I said, our main narrator being the one and only John C. Reilly, and the songs that come straight from John C. Reilly, his character, which being, yeah, the folk singer. That's the name, yeah, of his character, the folk singer. Yeah, and basically, you know, kind of telling the story on what goes on in this, and, well, one of our main characters, besides the folk singer, Moon, being voiced by Carrie Christopher, is an energetic, you know, little owl who, you know, unintentionally, you know, destroys the tree nest that his family had built, and it's only him and his little sibling named, Peaky, yeah, being voiced by Gianna Joseph, and Papa Owl being voiced by Jim Gaffigan, yeah. And Papa Owl, like, it's nice to see that he doesn't really, like, pin this on Moon, and surely he would know that it was an accident what Moon was doing. However, Papa Owl has a little disagreement with Moon on, you know, the out there in the world and with people and other animals and such, you know. And even like when Moon, what he brought with him and when he accidentally destroyed the nest was this like tinfoil steel, and maybe they can build a nest out of tinfoil metal and such. And well, Papa Owl pointing out to Moon that everybody will stare and look, and yeah. Moon doesn't quite understand yet the logic with, you know, how owls live in the woods and so on. And well, Papa Owl has to find more twigs to build a new nest, and has Moon keep an eye on Peaky so that, you know, they can stick together. And also, you know, and also be aware of any, like, prey, a hawk and such. But Moon, well, he wants to build a nest, and, you know, how he wants to do it, and he's not going to be, you know, that far away. He's going to be straight back, but he should have stayed where he was, because, yeah, when Moon is trying to find, you know, something to build a nest, you know, well, that's when enter a hawk and, yeah, vicious prey on Moon. And, well, thankfully Papa Owl stepping in to, you know, protect and save Moon. But unfortunately Moon got one of his wings injured / wounded, and now is hiding in another tree, and Papa Owl tells Moon to stay right there, and he does so. However, a human coming in with a, you know, a chainsaw, you know, cutting down the tree. And with that happening, well, Moon finds himself a little later in the streets of New York, you know, in the plaza, the Christmas tree, and the ice skating rink, that whole thing, and is very puzzled and, you know, like, what kind of forest is this and such? Even when he stumbles upon, and even when he trips and, you know, tumbles off of the tree, landing in water, and then, you know, right out in the ice skating rink, he comes face to face with one of the other main characters, a little girl who's kind of struggling, you know, ice skating. And, well, Moon panicking and avoiding the humans, even Luna, and so on. And, yeah. And then even when at one point, Moon comes face to face with the folk singer, and the folk singer trying to, you know, interact with Moon. Are you lost? And so on. But then a policeman showing up and, you know, you're not supposed to be here. Like, you know, move along. Ugh. And even when the folk singer, you know, being a homeless guy, he wasn't doing anything. Just, God, don't you hate when that happens? Just, yeah. But anyways, then at one point, some food then hits the ground, and, well, enter these 3 pigeons, and then claiming this food. And these 3 pigeons, Pat, being voiced by Natasha Lyonne, I think I'm saying her last name right. Great actress. I'm sure you know her from a lot of other great stuff. Most notably Pee-wee's Playhouse, and need I go on, even the Fantastic Four movie, you know. There's also Pelly, being voiced by Mahmoud Athi. Again, you know me sometimes, his first name, but Athi, I know I got right. And the third and final one, Plunt, being voiced by Phil Rosenthal. Yeah. And the only dialogue that comes from Punt is just food. And the first interactions between Moon and the 3 pigeons, it does not go too well. It just gets a bit out of hand, especially at a certain point, and especially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the pigeons in this, at first, not that very smart, especially whatever, like, Moon says to them, and they just take it the entirely different wrong way, just, you know, about, you know, food, and Moon assuring them that he's not going to take the food that they're going to eat and such and so on. And then all of a sudden, the pigeons challenging Moon, and then they start to chase him. And yeah, a little bit of a chase sequence through the streets of New York and with the busy traffic, and yeah, eventually when Moon loses the 3 pigeons, going into a subway, and that's when he would once again come face to face with Luna. And Luna, being very gentle and not going to hurt Moon, and noticing that Moon has a broken, injured / wound wing, you know. And well, of course, Luna especially cannot understand Moon. And the interactions they have almost throughout, you know, throughout this short. Very nice and sweet, you know? And even Moon, I mean, yeah, Moon can understand what Luna is saying, but really can't make out specifically what she's talking about. Yeah, and Luna, being voiced by Estella Madrigal, if I'm saying that right, yeah. And we learned from Luna a little later on, and why she was struggling, you know, ice skating. Well, she has a mechanical leg, you know? Yeah, that's really cool. And very sweet, you know? And hey, you know, technically, Luna and Moon, they share one thing in common, so yeah. But obviously, eventually, Moon's wing, you know, wounded wing would be healed and fixed up, right? So, you know. So, the time that Luna and Moon spend, and it doesn't take too long, especially for Moon to feel safe, you know, under Luna. And not to mention that, well, also, each of them, both of them, they're lost and, you know, trying to get back to their parents. Luna, she's afraid to go back. I mean, she's wanting to go back, but fearing that, you know, her mom will be mad and such. And when they're looking at the subway map, you know, the map down the subway, and when at one point a dog approaches and interacts with Moon, telling Dave, the dog named Dave, interacting with Moon, telling Moon that this is where he pees, and why would he think that maybe Moon would pee there? Why? Just, I don't know. And Dave the dog being voiced by Alex Ross Perry. Yeah. And, well, you know, because Dave the dog, you know, then walking off, you know, and wishing Moon a Merry Christmas. Moon has no idea what Christmas means at first. Doesn't know what it's all about until later on. So yeah. And moments that Moon and Luna still have, like when at one point, you know, they get a bite of something to eat, like a Christmas cookie. Moon finds the taste bad or something, but technically still eats it. And to speed things up, because, yeah, the more time that Moon and Luna spend, and even when, they come face to face and they see the folk singer there singing and such, or even when Moon spotting a picture of the Christmas tree where she was, you know, on the bus. But yeah, like that's gonna lead Moon to where you know, she's supposed to go. But anyways, so again, when spotting and noticing the folk singer singing, and when at one point one of his guitar strings breaks, and, well, that's not going to stop him from what he loves doing best, you know, singing, and he starts to sing another song, and yeah, you know, the songs that are in An Almost Christmas Story, they're really good, and John C. Reilly, he's got a really good singing voice. Like, I can most notably think of him singing his cover of Never Gonna Give You Up as Ralph. You know what I'm talking about. Because that just popped in my head, and that being an example, okay, of John C. Reilly's singing. But of course, he's done a lot more than that, singing, but anyways. Then, at one point, the three pigeons show up again, and Moon is not gonna have this anymore, and, you know, telling them that they're just bullies, and all that she and her new friend, / her human friend, Luna, are trying to do is just get back home to each of their families, and even Luna sticking up for Moon, and this is when she can understand Moon. Even Moon is surprised by this. You can understand me, and I can understand you. So, yeah. So, apparently, it's, you know, technically a Christmas miracle. Luna can understand the animals. And then that's when the pigeons, it all starts to get patched up between the pigeons and Moon. And the pigeons, well, they start to help out Moon, making her destination. And by, you know, hitching a ride on a bus, and when they make their destination almost, you know, to where the Christmas tree is, you know, at the Rockefeller Plaza. And then, you know, Moon starts to make a run for it, making her way to the tree, and then Dave the dog once again popping up, and like, oh, now we're running, and what's he doing? Like, oh my gosh. Like, he starts now to chase Moon, and just, oh my gosh. Dogs being dogs and Dave in this. But anyways, and Moon trying to fly herself to up top the tree to await for her father. And even when, say, Luna, holding on to the leash of Dave the dog, and then when they're out on the skating rink, Rockefeller Plaza, well, that's when Luna now has the ability to really ice skate, and because of her mechanical leg. Yeah, it's amazing. And then unfortunately for Moon, her trying to, and she seems like she's making progress, flying up top, but then she starts to lose control, and because of her injured, wound wing. But thankfully, one of the pigeons, that being Pat, helps out, giving Moon a lift, making it all the way to the top, and yeah. And a nice little moment between Pat and Moon asking if, she'll reunite with her dad and so on, and Pat, telling Moon, maybe not, and so on. And then when right before Pat flies away, wishing Moon a Merry Christmas. And then Moon, saying, Merry Christmas? Again, not knowing what Christmas means at first. And then, well, we're near the end of the story, and the folk singer, stepping in once again and, well, starts to sing again. And even when we see Luna asking a policeman, to help out her and her little owl friend, to each find their family. And, well, a fire truck shows up, and a fireman helping rescue Moon from up top the tree in a nice warm blanket. And eventually, well, and with Luna, along with the policeman, finding the location on possibly where Moon's family could be, and thus Moon is released and is able to fly once again. The wing, obviously, by that point, healed up. And now, well, thankfully, Moon has reunited with her young sibling and Papa. Yeah, and, telling them and wishing them Merry Christmas. They don't know what it is, but by hugging her Papa, this is what Christmas is, and to her. And technically, yeah, that's one of the meanings of Christmas, especially family, right? So yeah, and we don't see it, but we are to assume that Luna did reunite with her parents. Again, we don't see it, but we're left to assume, and yeah, maybe more than likely. And one last bit of singing from the folk singer, even when the three pigeons land on top of the folk singer's shoulders, and yeah. What a sweet way to end off this stop-motion Disney holiday short right there. Yeah. An Almost Christmas Story is a pretty good, sweet, cute, delightful, stop-motion Disney holiday short film altogether. Yeah, what more do I have to say? The story, the characters, the voice acting, the stop-motion animation look and style to this, the music and score, the songs, just, yeah, everything about An Almost Christmas Story is really good. And like I said, yeah, with the stop-motion having a very interesting style to it, and especially, yeah, it's obvious where looks as though that, yeah, they had used a lot of cardboard for this. For some of the, citizens of New York, even the vehicles, the buildings. Pretty clever and very nicely done. Anything's possible, and what they brought to the stop-motion animation to this, well, most notably, like, say, Moon, the three pigeons, and Luna and the folk singer, how they looked with the stop-motion figures. Again, just this stop-motion style was really interesting. Yeah. It never fails because, there's always going to be a different looking style to stop motion, just like computer and hand-drawn. Yeah, this was really good. Yeah, but just, yeah, overall, An Almost Christmas Story, the entirety of it, from beginning to end, just fantastic. It was really good. And I'm giving An Almost Christmas Story, well, what the heck, 10 out of 10 stars. Yes, 10 out of 10 stars for an almost Christmas story. And what about you guys? What did you think of an almost Christmas story itself? Any of you that, gotten to watch this and on Disney Plus? Well, yeah, this being exclusively for Disney Plus, so yeah. Did you think that what this Disney holiday stop-motion short film itself had to offer was good with its story and with its cast of characters, the songs, the stop-motion animation style to this? Got any good laughs, chuckles, and a bit teary-eyed from this stop-motion Disney holiday short film? Yeah, just overall, what do you think of an almost Christmas story itself, and with what I've had to say, my review, and yeah, what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. And so, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of An Almost Christmas Story. More review videos are coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / review. And, well, of course, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy materials on the weekends. Stay tuned later tonight, because what I'll be reviewing next, well, let's just say that it comes from good old Jeff Dunham. I think you guys probably know which one I'm referring to and such. Yeah, being something Christmassy from Jeff Dunham. Yeah, Again, stay tuned for that. Take care, and peace out.